Um, I don't know how to start this video because it's been so long since I've really read anything. Okay, but we're back again, I guess. So, we've got a new book this time. It's called Stratagem by Christina Hagmann. I searched up this book. I found this book by basically just searching up young adult books that are like short. And it gave me this. It gave me something that is fucking 197 pages long. But I guess, like, if I want to find a really short book, it doesn't really exist, I guess. I don't know. I've tried really hard to find anything that's like an easier version of that Talang Ukbar book that I read, because it's only 20 pages, and it was but it was a lot of the words are really difficult, and like it references a lot of stuff that I don't know. So I was really trying to find something that's like at a lower level that I can read, but I guess this is what we get this time. So Stratagem by Christina Hagmann. Okay, well, let's see. All right, chapter 1. Let's check this out. How many pages do we want to read today? Maybe 4. I think 4 is good enough. All right. I sat in the dark interior of my car, nervously spinning my earring and watching the shadows move behind the curtain in the lamp-lit house. Mr. Gray was saying goodbye to his poker buddies, all of whom had wives to get home to, making it an early night for him. It was 8 p. Motherfucker, go away. Jesus. It was 8 p.m., and the street lights cast an ethereal glow in the night. Conveniently, but not surprisingly, the street light by Mr. Gray's house was burnt out. Okay. So I understand, I think, most of it. The only part that I kind of not really understand was maybe this part where watching the shadow move behind the curtain in the lamp lit house, but I thought they said that they're in a car. So I'm like sort of trying to imagine the scenario. They are looking behind the curtain of what? Their car? I've never seen a car with like curtains for the glass, but it's behind the lamp lit house. So maybe it's like the house has curtains or that are like covering the glass, the windows, I should say. I don't know why I said glass. And so like from the inside you get, okay, I can imagine it now. Okay, I see. Most families in this upscale neighborhood, one of many affluent suburbs of Washington, D.C., had retired in front of their televisions for the evening. Had retired in front of their televisions. So I guess they fell asleep. I looked in the window of the house across the street. The drapes were open, revealing 2 kids, about 6 and 7 years old, chasing each other around a kitchen table. They were laughing and playing as their mother sat at the table with a book. They didn't even know how good they had it, and they probably never would. What's so good about having your mom read in front of the table? What? I guess the characters may be like an orphan or something, I guess, or maybe they grew up in a really poor neighborhood, because they mention an affluent suburb. I don't know. I don't want to like assume too much. When I realized I was spinning my earring, a bad towel I had acquired, I pinched the diamond in the fleshy part of my thumb. Will they have like a diamond embedded in their finger? It bit me. Oh shit. Well, why did you do that? Drawing blood. I watched a man, Mr. Gray's neighbor, exit the house. Now a single shadow moved across the living room. Okay. So is this part a single shadow moved across the living room? Is this part talking about like inside of the house that they were talking about? But right here they said his neighbor had exited the house, so I don't know why did we like change it back to there. I glanced out the rear view window at the black van that was parked a block away. The windows were tinted, so I couldn't make out who was in the driver's seat. It was usually the same guy, but I'd never seen him up close, and I didn't want to. I wondered how much they had briefed him about me. Okay. Brief. Well, I've heard of the word briefing, which is like sort of like a meeting you have with someone to talk briefly about something. So I guess that's what it means in here. They. Who's they? Right in front, right here. I wonder how much. Maybe it's Mr. Gray's neighbor, because he had exited the house. So like he exited the house and then he went to the guy in the back window, well, at least in the black van, which our characters see from the rear view window, and so they talked about the main character a little bit. I wonder what he saw when he looked at me. I wonder if he knew what I was. What are you, like a fucking monster or some shit? You're a fucking demon? I flipped down my visor. What's a visor? Search. A movable part of a helmet. Okay, give me an image. Great, I need to censor this out now, thanks. Alright, thanks a lot, Windows or Microsoft, whatever the fuck it is, that decided to automatically sign me in. Thanks a lot. Okay. Alright, visor. So I guess it's this thing. Sure. I flipped down my visor and examined myself in the mirror, something I often did, but not out of vanity, but out of reassurance. My green eyes were bright in the light of the visor mirror. They sometimes surprised me by how green they were. Maybe you got like an eye infection or something, I don't know. Whoops. Where were we? Yeah. Sometimes, and I wonder if they were really my eyes. Like the moon over a pond, the glow of the street lamps reflected off my black hair and illuminated my dark complexion. I quickly shut my visor, extinguished the light, and returning my attention to the house. Mr. Gray would be bringing the garbage out soon as per his usual schedule. I grabbed the petition, or like the thing you use, like you want people to sign your petition, like from Postal 2. Sign this petition, or I'll kick your ass, or whatever the fuck it says. I actually don't remember any of the lines. The one that had been supplied to me off the passenger seat. I was sure the petition was for some... yeah, it really is. I was sure the petition was for some real cause, just real enough for Mr. Gray to open the door for me. They were very good with details, but it wasn't a cause that mattered to me. Okay, well, obviously the writer wants us to wonder who's they right here, but I'm not going to, because I don't really care. I reached for the door handle, feeling around for it in the darkness. What? Oh yeah, they extinguished the lights in their car. But I guess the street lamps and such was not enough to like make it so that they can still see the interior of their car. And then pulled back, remembering I would need a pen. My purse was large and full of candy wrappers. I didn't have much else. Okay. Maybe they have like diabetes or something. That's why they carry around so much candy. Or maybe they're just a fat bitch. After digging around and finding a pen, I paused. My cell phone sat in my purse. I picked it up and turned it off. I didn't know when I would see my phone again because this job was different and there was no emergency exit. What? What do you mean? I thought you just want him to sign your petition. Okay. If anything, that was what gave me some comfort during last year, that they had planned a way out for me if I needed it. Okay. Not really sure what's going on, to be honest. Finally, I tucked the phone in my jacket pocket. I knew I would be in trouble for keeping it, but at this point it didn't matter. The cleanup crew would report it missing, but I would already be in place. If they wanted it, they'd come for it. Okay. Kinda confused, I'm not gonna lie. So, what's happening here? So they reached in their purse for a pen, but they felt their cell phone, and then they did not know when they would see their phone again because this job was different and there was no emergency exit. Sure, I don't know. My palms were sweating. You know, I always thought that, like, for once, you know, maybe if I read a book where I knew most of the words, at least I didn't know some of them, but I actually know petition, but I just didn't imagine it would be the petition I was thinking of. I thought that if I read a book where I knew most of the words, at least I would understand what's going on, but still no, I guess. I'm just fucking terrible at reading. My palms were sweating. I wiped them down the front of my sweater. A quick tap on the driver's side window jolted me out of the whole cell phone conundrum. I jumped, my heart beating hard in my chest, and glanced up to see a young man, blonde, his face filling up the window. He looked about 17, the same age as me. He was tall and lanky and kind of cute. His broad smile covered his face, but it didn't reach his eye. Well, yeah, fucking obviously. Like, if someone's smile could reach their eyes, that would be absolutely horrifying. I grabbed for the window button, but because the engine was turned off, I couldn't roll down the window. Huh. Okay. Thoughts ticked across my brain. I couldn't ignore him. But at this point in the game, what game? What are you talking about? I shouldn't be talking to anyone besides Mr. Gray. I thought back to my cell phone in my pocket and had the strange sensation that something was wrong with this assignment. The boy lifted his hand in a still wave. Okay. Why do so many books like to like fucking drop you off into like in the middle of the story of something, and then just expect you to like understand? I don't fucking understand. I grabbed the door handle. My palm was warm and clammy. I think I've seen the word clammy before. I think it means like cold, right? Or like pale or something like that. Oh, never mind. Unpleasantly damp and sticky. Okay. I didn't know what to say to him, in part because I wasn't used to talking to boys, but also because this was the least ideal time to chat up some guy. Sweat began to dampen my brow. I opened the door a crack. Yes, I asked. Before I could get the whole word out of my mouth, he wrenched open the door. He straight fucking grabbed it open, I guess. Taken by surprise, I lost my grip. To my left, I saw movement coming from behind my vehicle. Instead of leaning out to see what was happening, I crawled back into the car, shimmying over the middle console. Okay. Shimmy, it means like sort of like shuffle towards somewhere, right? Swaying, yeah, sort of like that, over the middle console. So where is the middle console in a car? Let's search it up. Why not? Oh, so like in the middle of this thing. Okay. I should have been able to like assume, but I just wanted to make sure. Trying to get away from him. Yeah, it is a little bit like weird for someone to like fucking grab your door open like that. What the fuck? He snatched. Oh yeah. Oh shit. He snatched at my leg and grabbed me around the ankle. Okay. Pepper spray him. I kicked wildly at his hands, moving back towards the passenger door, and that was when the second boy appeared, moving in from around the back of the car. He had short brown hair and wasn't as tall, but he had a muscular build. As the blonde pulled on my ankle, the brown-haired boy grabbed my other leg. It was eerie how quiet the night was. Well, didn't you scream? Like, I would scream in this situation. I would be yelling like, fucking help me. These two fucking rapists are like trying to kidnap and rape me. What the fuck? All I could hear was my own heavy breathing and grunting as I tried to get away. Oh yeah, I guess to be fair, she said like, was it fucking the assignment said that like she's not supposed to speak to anyone, so I guess, you know, she can't really speak up in this situation. But I don't know, I would say, you know, if I was in this situation, I'd be like, fuck whatever that is. I'm gonna be yelling for help, because if not, I'll probably like get kidnapped and then they'll rape me and like kill me and I'll die. So, the brown-haired boy grabbed at my other. Okay, I read that already. When they got me out far enough, the blonde-haired boy tried taking hold of my waist. I grasped for anything that could anchor me in the car, but he was too quick and too strong. When he seized my waist, he was able to wrench my entire body from the vehicle. I was unsteady as he pushed me into the arms of the dark-haired boy. The dark-haired boy's large arms wrapped me in a bear hug and pulled me backwards, away from the vehicle and out onto the road. I tried dragging my feet to slow us down, but to be fair, there's not really much you can do at this point. I mean, but my toes barely touched the pavement. I hunched over, trying to get my feet firmly on the ground, but he wouldn't let me gain control. Struggling, kicking, my heart was racing. My mind went to the men in the van. They would come for me. An engine revved close by, and I turned my head, hoping to see the van. Wait, you want the van, the black van from the back to like get you? Sure. I guess those were his, those were their, I don't know, caretaker, maybe? People who gave them the assignment. But instead, a rusty Pontiac, I assume that's a car brand, squealed up next to my car. No, I tried to yell. Oh, at this point you try to yell. Alright, sure. But I had very little breath stored up in my lungs. I used all my strength to pull my arms apart, but it was useless with the boy's arms squeezing me tightly. I was sure that the men in the van had to be on their way. That was their sole purpose, to look out for me. Okay, yeah, so those were her, like, caretaker, I guess. They're coming. the blonde yelled out. The boy holding me pulled me around to the back of the car. Everything seemed to be taking so long, but only a matter of seconds had passed. There was a click, and the trunk popped up. Quick, put her in. The blonde held a gun up. I squinted towards the rusty vehicle and the dark interior of the trunk. No, I kicked, struggling forward. Okay, well, well, he might just straight up shoot you in your fucking face. I don't know. Yeah, some of the actions that this character decides to take are, you know, somewhat. But I guess, you know, to be fair, I don't know what I would do in this situation. I've never been kidnapped and like fucking raped and shit. I've never had a gun held up against my head, so. And jerked my head back, trying to hit the dark-haired boy who was holding me, but he was larger than me, and my head only thumped harmlessly against his chest. Oh, so they were trying to headbutt him. Okay. I guess that's, you know, what you do if they like bear hug you and holding your arms against your back, I assume. So yeah, that's really your only attack move at that point. My kicks were useless. I couldn't connect with anything. I tried to twist around, but he had a firm grip. Yeah, I know. The cuffs, the blonde boy yelled. The driver of the car, who I could wait. There was a driver for you? Huh. I thought you were alone in the car. But why didn't they do anything? I mean, you know, I think it makes sense if, you know, they knew that they had a weapon and, you know, probably don't want to get themselves killed, but you know, when you were being dragged out of the car, I would assume they'll at least like ask for help from other people who I couldn't see. Oh, maybe this is not the same car that she came out of. Maybe it's the other car, the rusty Pontiac or whatever it was. But the driver tossed something out the open window, but it missed its mark and clattered to the ground. Why would they? Oh, they try to throw the cuffs for the guys. Gunshots rang through the air. I flinched and stopped struggling, not sure who was firing. The the dark-haired boy stopped and looked back long enough for me to see the man from the van running at us and firing. Oh, okay, they finally came. Help! I screamed. It occurred to me that if they were willing to open fire, then maybe the target, Mr. Gray, no longer mattered to them. Maybe the assignment was void and they would have to go with plan B. Well, yeah, they probably have to save your bitch ass because you're gonna get kidnapped and shit. Which was riskier and had a higher mortality rate. That was what I was told going into this. Warning what would happen if I failed or refused to follow through. Oh, okay. So they warned you that if you did not do the thing as they told you, then there would be a higher mortality rate and it would be riskier. Huh. But I guess, you know, this is obviously an exception, like fucking. But yeah. More importantly, they didn't need me for plan B. Well, why did they bother to save you then? If they were going for plan B, but now they're saving you. I kicked again, but the boy holding me was too strong. The blonde held the trunk open as the sorry, I'm like eating something. As the dark-haired boy lifted his legs in. What does that mean? Lifted your legs in. Oh, my legs in, not their legs. Okay. So he put your legs into the trunk. He fumbled with me as I used my legs to push off the edges of the trunk or whatever I could get my feet on. Instead of losing his grip on me, he pushed himself forward and folded himself over me with his weight heavy against my back. He forced me down and hopped into Oh, hop in the trunk with me. Huh. So now both the dark-haired boy and the main character are both in the trunk now. Interesting. More gunshots fired. Bullets pinged off the side of the car. The trunk closed, wrapping everything. These guys fucking suck at shooting. Holy shit. Two very obvious targets just standing in front of a car. You can't fucking even shoot any part of them. Seriously. I try to get away. Moving towards... Well, the trunk has closed. What the fuck can you do at this point? You're inside. I try to get away, moving towards the back of the trunk. My senses heightened. Our breathing... Yeah, our, because both the dark-haired boy and this guy is in there now, was heavy and loud in the dark trunk. It smelled of gas. There were muted shouts and more gunshots as the vehicle pulled away. The force of the forward motion and the fact I was off balance caused me to roll back to the boy who was holding me. I tried to wiggle away again, but his grip... Well, I mean, to be honest, even at this point, you're inside a trunk with your kidnapper. Like, I really don't know what the fuck even wiggling away would achieve at this point. You're not going to be able to somehow get out of this trunk. But his grip was firm and his arms locked securely over my arm and around my stomach. A bullet loudly ricocheted off the side of the vehicle and I froze, listening to the muffled voices inside the car. Suddenly, the boy shifted. His head moved down over me and close to my ear. Sorry for being so rough. His voice was gentle in my ear, and a prickly sensation shot down my side. I held my breath, wondering what the agency would do now that I hadn't completed the assignment. What would they do now that I had got it? Now I had gone and gotten caught. Well, okay. Sorry for being so rough. So were they like pretending? Like, was this whole thing was just an act that the main character like planned out for her to be like kidnapped and shit? Huh. Well, if it was, then maybe she'd probably not struggle inside of the trunk, because like by this point no one would be able to see them. So like why keep up the act? I'm not sure. Sorry, but maybe he's just a gentleman. Maybe he, even as a kidnapper, even as a rapist, he has standards. You know, professionals have standards. Be polite, be efficient, and have a plan to kill everyone you meet. Are you okay? His voice broke through. I didn't say a word. I didn't know what these boys wanted or what they knew about me. Low, faint voices came from the inside of the vehicle. It was cold in the trunk and there was no way of telling how much time had passed. The boy's rhythmic breathing warmed my... that's kind of gross. His body, solid and heavy, pressed up against me. What would a bunch of teenage boys want with me? Yeah, I mean, just figure it out yourself. I mean, like, I've said it multiple times already. Like, do I have to, like, fucking spill everything out? Why doesn't the fucking writer just say it? Obvious. It's fucking obvious at this point. Dark motives cross my mind. Yeah, obviously. What the fuck else could, like, people kidnapping you and, like, doing shit like this want? Money? Like if they would just want your money, they could have just like fucking just robbed you on the spot. It would have been easier. Only other reason where like, okay, it's for like money or something would be if you were famous, or like the children of someone who's like famous and powerful, and so they're kidnapping you as like a bargaining chip for your parents. But yeah, I mean, like, fucking obviously. And my panic brain circled and circled around thoughts that I kept trying to push out. I was on the verge of Oh man, when was this book written? Hold on. When was this book written? I don't know. How do you like find out when was a book written? I guess like this is like before the time when the term was it like panic attack became popular. So freak out was the closest that they had. Um, but man, the word freak has been destroyed by the internet. Like God, I cannot take this seriously. Just saying the word freak out. And I couldn't afford that. After what I had been through, I should be able to handle a bunch of teenage boys. Well, I mean, you said that, but I guess I don't know. I guess I'm like asking too much for her to be like doing a bunch of fucking super karate or fucking action hero bullshit. You know, like I guess there really isn't much you can do against two men that like straight up just fucking kidnapping you. But what I think should have been done was actually whoever it was that was meant to protect you. Like fucking they had weapons. I mean, to be fair, the blonde guy also had weapon, but like I don't know, they kind of sucked ass at like trying to save you, dude. I had come a long way from a year ago. Back then, I was living in my home in in Oak Park, Illinois, with my father, the librarian, and my sister. Glinger and Georgia. I was worrying about the girls at school accepting me and regretting what I had done to make them accept me when a group of men broke into my room one night and took me. Holy shit, this girl has been through so fucking much. I mean, you rape once, or not enough. Rape her for the second time, motherfucker. Jesus. They knew what I was. What are you? And I knew it was my fault. Even though my dad had warned me. And my poor father, a regular guy who had already lost his wife 6 years earlier, was forced to give me up without hope of ever seeing me again. What? What's happening? Lots of questions. What are you? How is this your fault? Your dad's wife, so your mom died, I guess. Why was he forced to give you up without hope of ever seeing you again? Many questions, many questions. I closed my eyes tightly, but the blackness of the trunk was darker than that of my mind. I thought about the cell phone. Oh yeah, call the police. But with the never mind. If I waited for the right time, it might be my only chance to escape. My only way to get back to the agency. I guess, yeah, maybe if he's kind of a dumbass and let go of you, then maybe you can, escape. These thoughts jumbled in my mind like clothes in a dryer. Sort of a whatever metaphor. Yeah, I guess, sure. Clothes in a dryer. Sure. I probably wouldn't make this like allegory or metaphor or whatever you call these. I would have just like said my mind jumbled. Like that's it. Though I had no idea how much time had passed, we were moving out of the city. How did you know? The vehicle has slowed at certain points in a trip, and moving out of the city, Jesus, I would assume that takes some time. Do you even have enough oxygen for 2 people inside the trunk? The vehicle has slowed at certain points in the trip and made brief stops, probably at traffic lights. Okay, I guess, well, that's probably not where she got more oxygen, but whatever. When we finally slowed to a complete stop, I strained to hear what was going on. Shh, the dark-haired boy whispered in my ear. There were voices. Why are you like not trying to? I don't get it, right? Like the agency is trying to save you. I guess at this point she can't be saved by like anyone except them. so she can't just like yell for help. But I don't know, fucking in this situation, you really can't do fucking anything. So I really shouldn't like be asking so much of this guy. There were forces outside. I sucked in my breath, preparing. Okay, there you go. Finally. But suddenly, a large hand clamped down on. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Yeah, she couldn't do that. Unfortunate. The hand was warm and smooth, but damp with sweat. It gently drove my chin down and my neck and my head into my chest. The pressure was uncomfortable, claustrophobic. I felt like I was suffocating, like I would never be able to breathe again. My body prickled. What does this word mean? Prickled. Experience. Oh, okay. So she had a tingling sensation. She had a tingling. She had to pee. You don't want these people to know you're here, he whispered. They will not be kind to you. But I don't know, have you been kind to her? I mean, yeah. Kidnapping someone and, you know, doing all this shit is not... I would not say that is particularly kind. But, you know, what do I know? I had no idea what he was talking about. Me neither. But if I couldn't yell out, there was one other thing I could do. That thing was my speciality. I grabbed his hand on my mouth. So I guess she bit him. I grabbed his hand on my mouth. Oh wait, maybe she didn't. Maybe she used her arms. But I thought the other arm of the guy was like holding her, you know, her entire body. So, and concentrated on his voice. Closing my eyes, my head began to buzz. Stop. He pulled his arm away like he had touched a burning ember. What are you doing, Meta? What the fuck was she doing? Yeah, exactly. What was that? She made her head buzz. And I guess it hurt him. I hesitated for a moment. Startled, he knew my name. My skin was ablaze with pins and needles, and the back of my eyelids burned. Shit, the boy whispered, squirming away from the... Okay, I guess I began to fill up the trunk. The car moved again. I guess she had some, like, fucking fire ability, I guess, where she made her body burn. So, like, you know, obviously you can't touch that. Okay, we got to chapter 2. Okay, well, that was actually much quicker than I thought. Wow. Okay, so in chapter 1, what did we learn? So she was gonna get kidnapped. But she has, like, firepower, I guess. And so... But she still got kidnapped because, I don't know, I guess that she doesn't want to use her firepower when it, you know, actually mattered. You know, at this point you're already inside of the trunk of their car. So, I don't know, unless if you can, like, burn through the metal, I don't really see how this ability can work. I guess you can kill that guy. But, wouldn't fire ability, like, consume oxygen so you would run out of oxygen yourself? Well, I don't know. I mean, she's a fucking magical being that has, like, fire abilities. Fuck if I know. She probably doesn't even need oxygen for all I care. But yeah, I guess she also... Well, what else did we learn? She's working with some, like, agency, fucking FBI for superhumans or whatever. I guess that's it. Yeah. Am I really interested in the story and continuing to read the story? Not really, to be honest. It seems just like fucking she has fire ability, so what? She doesn't seem to be using it in the most effective manner, so... But I guess, you know, that's the book for now. See y'all next time.